Mary Tamaki, a second-year high school student who fears she has not been making the most of her youth, has a list of goals, including get the most out of youth. As a first step, she decides to skip school and take an impromptu trip to Tokyo, but she backs out at the last minute as she is too scared to go through with it. She discusses it with her best friend Megumi. One evening, at the train station, Shurei's Kabuchizawa runs past Mary and drops an envelope. She picks up the envelope dropped by Shurei's. Mary discovers that the envelope has 1 million yen inside. The next day, at school, Mary finds Shurei's, the girl who had dropped the envelope. She had been saving up the money to travel to Antarctica and find her missing mother, Takako. She returns the money to Shurei's. Some older girls find out about it and try to shake down Shurei's for money, but Mary helps her out. Mary encourages Shurei's and is invited to join in the quest. Taking an interest in Antarctica herself, Mary decides to join Shurei's on her journey. They go by train to Kure, where they tour the Antarctic expedition ship. Still in Kure to tour the icebreaker, Shurei's and Mary discuss the Antarctic expedition that they want to join. Megumi tries to discourage Mary and shows her some concerning news articles about the expedition, which ends up with Mary in detention for reading them on her phone during class time. Mary expresses these concerns to Shurei's, who is upset at first, but then talks it over. Needing money for a flight to Fremantle, where a civilian expedition towards Antarctica is scheduled to depart from, Mary gets a job at a convenience store, named Lawson Convenience Store, located near the school. Having overheard Mary and Shurei's conversations, her co-worker Hinata Miek also takes an interest in going to Antarctica. Hinata inquires about the Antarctic expedition and wishes to come along as well and joins in on Shurei's plan. Later, the three of them travel to Kabukicho, Tokyo, to Shinjuku district where a meetup of expedition members is being held. Shurei's reveals her plan. One of them will seduce a member of the crew and get him to sneak them on board. The girls carry out a plan to sneak aboard the exhibition, only to get discovered by two of the team members, Kani Mikawa and Yumiko Samejima, who recognize Shurei's. The girls run off but are chased down by Kani and Yumiko. Shurei's offers the 1 million yen she had saved to join the expedition but gets turned down. Despite offering the money she had saved up as sponsorship for the expedition, Shurei's is unable to convince Yumiko and Kani to let them come on the expedition, as they have their plan to gather the funding needed. The girls head home on the train in defeat. The girls meet at Shurei's place to discuss their next plan to join the Antarctic expedition. They discover that a high school girl is going along to post web reports and videos of the trip. Just then that girl, Yuzuki Shiraishi, arrives at their door. She doesn't want to go and asks for Shurei's to do it instead. Yuzuki's manager Tomiko Shiraishi, who is also her mother, declines to accommodate the switch and is adamant about Yuzuki going as part of her job. Yuzuki later tells her mother that she won't go. Shurei's is allowed to join if Shurei's, Mary, and Miek can convince Yuzuki to go on the expedition. They can accompany her. The girls speak with Yuzuki at the cafe where she studies in the evening and asks her why she does not want to go. Yuzuki explains how she never got to make any true friends because of her acting career, becoming surprised when Mary hugs her. That night, Yuzuki has a strange dream of the girls inviting her to run away with them. The next day, the girls invite Yuzuki to hang out with them as proper friends. Yuzuki breaks down in tears when the girls arrive at her apartment in the morning to join her on a trip to Tokyo. They visit the Polar Science Museum. They have such a good time together, prompting her to agree to go to Antarctica as long as they come with her. Yuzuki agrees to go to Antarctica if the other three girls can come along, and so the high school girls are signed on to the expedition. Mary gets in trouble with her mother after she fakes her signature on a permission slip and is tasked with passing all of her tests. With the threat of studies looming, Mary and the others head to a summer training camp for the expedition, where they meet the team captain, Jin Tadu. The girls first take part in a route mapping exercise where they must determine a route and place flag markers down. While spending their first night in a tent, Shurei's explains how Jin went with Takako on a previous Antarctica expedition that the latter did not come home from. Early the next morning, Mary comes across Jin, who shows her the sunrise and tells her about what Takako was like. As the Antarctica expedition draws near, Mary's childhood friend Megumi Takahashi starts to act jealous of her. On the day before the expedition, Megumi tells Mary that people have been spreading rumors about her, only for Shurei's and Hinata to show up and take her to karaoke to blow off some steam. Afterward, Mary tells Megumi how she wanted to become strong so she would not have to rely on her all the time. The next day, Megumi reveals she had been the one spreading bad rumors about Mary and Shurei's, realizing she had been dependent on Mary relying on her. Rejecting Megumi's request to break off their friendship, Mary joins the others as they set off on the first leg of their trip. As the girls arrive in Singapore for a 2-day layover before boarding their connecting flight to Australia, Hinata discovers that she appears to have lost her passport. With not enough time before their next flight to obtain a new passport from the embassy, Hinata accepts that she may have to miss out on the expedition altogether, much to Shurei's objection. The next day, as the girls find themselves unable to change their tickets for a later flight, Shurei offers up the 1 million yen she had saved to change them to business class tickets so they can all go together. Later that evening, however, Shurei discovers that Hinata's passport was in her purse the entire time, as she had been holding onto it for her after coming out of customs while Hinata was tying her shoe, then forgot about it. With the travel situation resolved, Mary and Yuzuki punish Shurei and Hinata for all the trouble they caused by having them eat durian. Arriving in Fremantle, the girls tour around the expedition ship to film a report before departure. While helping out the other workers, the girls begin to worry about how understaffed the expedition is and become curious as to whether Kani is hiding some kind of plan from them. Later that night, Shurei speaks to Jin about how Takako disappeared and their drive to go to Antarctica once more. The ship finally sets off on its voyage, with Mary and the others tasked with various jobs alongside their report before training on deck to build stamina. The novelty of the journey soon wears off, however, as everyone starts feeling seasick, which only gets worse as the ship starts sailing through some fierce currents. While downhearted when comparing themselves to their more stamina-inclined shipmates, the girls cheer up when they get a first-hand taste of the waves and soon get used to riding a boat as it begins its approach towards Antarctica. One of the crewmates, Toshio Zazen, reveals that he has fallen in love with Jin, asking Shurei for any information about her. Feeling that it might spice up their report, the girls decide to interview Jin to see if they can learn anything about her love life. Later, Jin, who has been worried that Shurei hates her after Takako disappeared, speaks with Shurei, who is herself conflicted about how to feel. Just then, the ship is forced to break through a large sheet of ice standing in its path, during which Jin recalls the last transmission she received from Takako. As Toshio ends up giving up on his crush, the girls finally set foot on dry land. The girls arrive at the Sawa station where they will be stationed. As everyone gets the station ready, Yuzuki, who had just been offered a role in a drama, becomes curious about what point she officially became friends with the others. As the crew enjoys a Christmas party, Yuzuki becomes further confused about what friendship means when Mary cries after she proposes having friendship contracts. Later that evening, Mary tells Yuzuki about how she views her friendship with Megumi before everyone shows up for a belated birthday celebration, giving Yuzuki her first birthday with friends. As the girls receive video messages from their friends and family, Hinata acts strangely when some old acquaintances of hers call, after which Shurei spots her letting out her frustrations in private. Concerned about Hinata, Shurei gets caught looking at an email sent by Hinata's former teammates in the track club. Hinata explains that because of her talent, she was looked down upon by the third-year members, who then spread bad rumors that led Hinata to quit school. While on a mission to set up solar panels and satellite markers, Shurei manages to give Hinata some comfort over her dilemma. The next day, as the girls prepare for a live broadcast, Shurei confronts Hinata's teammates over their actions, giving Hinata some peace of mind. Shurei is unsure how to feel when she is invited to join the others on a snowcat ride to where Takako was last heard from, fearing that there will be nothing left for her once she goes. After hearing Jin's reasons for coming to Antarctica despite knowing that Takako is dead, Shurei reminds herself of the effort she put in to earn the money she saved before deciding to join the others on their mission. As the team spend the night in the middle of a blizzard, Shurei hears from Jin about Takako's final words before Mary thanks her for taking her to Antarctica. Upon arriving at a site for an observatory, Mary and the others search for proof that Takako was there, managing to find a laptop belonging to her. Logging onto it, Shurei breaks into tears as it retrieves all the emails she had sent to Takako that never got to be read. With their time in Antarctica drawing to a close, the girls decide to play a game of baseball with all the team members before they leave, after which Shurei decides to cut her hair. At their farewell party, Shurei gives a speech on her thoughts on Antarctica, making a promise to come again. As the girls take their leave, Jin discovers one final email in Takako's outbox addressed to Shurei containing a photo she took of the Aurora Australis, which the girls get to witness themselves. Upon arriving in Japan and parting ways with each other, Shurei reveals she has left her earnings in Antarctica, while Mary discovers that Megumi has gone to the Arctic. And that's all for today, guys. Stay tuned to get more new videos. Stay safe and keep watching.